Welcome, welcome, welcome to African Women in the Diaspora with me, Ngozi Jason. Today, we're going to be talking about, by the way, this is my third episode in 1 week. Yay me! I'm really happy that at the rate of going, I'm really proud of myself. Anyway, I digress. So today we're going to be talking about 5 lessons I learned when I first moved to the UK, and one of them is culture shock. Now, someone like me who has, been to a couple of countries, um, I think I became arrogant. I became arrogant. I traveled to different countries. I thought I knew all there was to know about people from Europe, especially. In fact, United Kingdom and America, especially. I thought that I knew all there was to know about them. So I came to the UK. I moved to the UK kind of cocky because after I've been coming to this country every year for I think about maybe 8 years or 10 years. Every single year would come to the UK to spend Christmas. And then sometimes I'll get sent when I used to work for an organization. Sometimes I'll get sent to the UK for official reasons. So I just thought, what did they there? I know this country now. I know everything about them. When I came, I realized that there was so much about the English people that I did not know. In fact, I knew nothing. Knew nothing. One thing that I noticed when I first came here, I live in the Northeast. There's something the Northeast people say when you meet them. They'll say, "Are you all right? Are you okay?" So every time I heard that, I'm like, why are they asking if you're all right, or if you're okay? I just assume, okay, maybe the person had been ill and they were asking the person how they were doing, if they were fine. In Nigeria, this one is asking you, "Are you all right? Are you okay?" They're asking you, "Are you crazy? Is everything okay with you upstairs?" That's what it means in Nigeria to ask people, "Are you okay? Are you all right?" So one day I went grocery shopping. I went to one of the grocery shops. I think it was Lidl or Aldi, I'm not sure. So as I was were in the queue, the staff that was attending to people, each person he attended to, he would ask them, "Are you all right? Are you okay?" So they would answer him, but somehow I wasn't really listening to their discussion. Somehow the people from the Northeast, their um their accent is a little different from the accent of those in the South. London people, the accent is a little bit easier to understand. In fact, that's the first culture shock. I did not realize that there are many accents in the United Kingdom because each time I came to the UK, I would only go to London or the boroughs on the outskirts of London. So I thought everybody's accent was the same. Oh my God, imagine my shock when I realized that accents are different. So sometimes there's some who had some really strong accents. I'd have to struggle. Imagine a whole week where they travel up and down. I struggle to understand some of their accents. So when the Aldi staff would ask them, "Are you all right?" I never really bothered to listen to what they were saying because I just assumed I know they will hear things that they talk self. So what's the point? When it got to my turn for the guy to attend to me, he asked me the same thing. "Are you all right? Are you okay?" From my mind, I said, this guy does not even know myself. So why would he be asking me, "Are you all right? Are you okay?" I, well, did I do something? But that's when it dawned on me that the guy is actually asking, "How are you?" That's what it means in the Northeast. Excuse me. It means, "How are you? Are you doing fine?" That's when it dawned on me what "Are you all right? Are you okay?" means when they ask you, especially in the Northeast. I don't know about the other parts of the United Kingdom, but in the Northeast, when they ask you, "Are you all right? Are you okay?" just know that they're asking you, "How are you?" And then usually the response is, "Not too bad, not too bad." "Are you all right?" You ask the person too, "Are you all right? Are you okay?" And they're, "Not too bad, not too bad." "Oh, I'm fine." Then they start talking about the weather, the almighty United Kingdom weather. So that was it. Secondly, I used to wonder, why are the English people always so obsessed with their weather? I used to wonder, why do they keep on talking about the weather? why do they almost always, or why do they almost go crazy during the summer? You just see people just come out wearing the skip. Yes, there's this excitement in the air during summer. I used to wonder, and why they also would get, why they were always so obsessed about the weather. If you want to make small talk with an English person, just talk about the weather. They are always willing to talk about the weather. I did not understand until I lived here for, I think it was my second year, I began to understand. Oh, the UK weather can be so, what's the word? Depressing, can be so annoying. That's when I got to understand. Oh, that's why during the summer, people, you can actually feel the excitement. The excitement is tangible during the summer in the UK. People are doing barbecues. People are wearing skimpy shorts. Some people are going shirtless. You can see the excitement, and because the weather, it's always, well, not always, but most times it's cold, it's dreary. Sometimes it can rain, and it's some kind of funny rain. In Nigeria, when it rains, it rains. So when it's not raining, it's not raining. But in the UK here, the rain is soft and gentle. It's annoying. You'll be asking, I bet, rain, do you really want to fall, or don't you want to fall? Make up your mind what you want to do. So that's another thing I realized, that I did not know so much about the UK as much as I assumed that I did. Then the next lesson I learned about the UK. Now, this was a hard lesson. You need community. When you move abroad, you need community, whether it's the UK, the US, Portugal, or any other country in Europe, Australia, Canada, the UAE, Qatar, wherever you move to. Please, the idea of community, I cannot stress it enough. You cannot overestimate community. You need it. Moving to the northeast of England, I had nobody, no family member, no close friend. I made a few friends because, like I said in one of episode one, I think, of my podcast, that I came in as a student. And we trust Nigerians. I think about 80% of my classmates were Nigerians. So I made friends with them. But after we're done with school, most people moved to London. Some moved to Birmingham, Manchester. Only very few of us stayed back here. And of the few of us who stayed back here, I think maybe two of us, or maybe three, stayed back in the city or in the area where our school is situated. Others moved to other places or other boroughs. So I was kind of like alone, apart from my husband and my children. I didn't really have anybody. Yes, I go to church, and I'm committed in my church. I'm a worker in my church. I handle the children's ministry in my church. But I did not really have, most of the people in my church were not new immigrants like me. So there's some things they couldn't just understand about my life. Like the day my pastor said we should invite our friends to church, and I told my pastor, I don't have friends. He was shocked. You don't have friends? What do you mean? He couldn't understand that, first of all, I've been here just roughly about 3 years, and you, as an adult, adults, of course, it's a known fact, that it's a scientific fact, actually, that adults find it much harder to make friends than children. So you can't expect me to have made a bundle of friends or a bunch of friends within 3 years. I try to make, I have some acquaintances, but not anybody that I can call a friend, and I'm sure none of them can call me friends. But this is really, really important. Find community. If you cannot find community in your area, physical community, find online community. There's a community I belong to. It's called Nigerian Women in the UK. Sometimes they plan, hangouts in different cities. Like the last hangout that was planned in the city around me was in Newcastle. Newcastle is about an hour's drive from where I stay. The one before that, I think, was it was in what's it called? Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough is about maybe 12 minutes drive from where I stay. So it's good to, first of all, find community with the people like you. If you're African, if you're Nigerian, find community with fellow Nigerians, because there's a lot of information that they will have that you may need. And you also may be able to contribute information for other people who may just be coming into the country that they will need your information as well. Also, find community with other Africans just to expand your reach, expand your reach. So you need community with other Africans. Then, of course, find community with other locals. It was in my third year that I joined, no, I think it was in my second year that I joined a writers group. I was just looking, and how did I find that writers group? Okay, first thing, there's this group of women in the estate. I live in an estate. This estate is said to be the largest estate in Europe, very large estate. So during the lockdown in 2020, someone decided to create a Facebook group for the women who live on that estate or areas around that estate, because during 2020, the lockdown affected many people's marriages. Her marriage broke down in 2020. She realized she was alone. She didn't have any friends around. All her friends had either maybe moved out or moved on or were busy doing other things. So she decided to create a Facebook community for the women who live in this area. So when I first came to the UK, I joined that group. And they used to have different outings. Sometimes they'll have breakfast, sometimes they'll have movie nights, sometimes they'll just go on walks, sometimes they'll plan to go out for tea or drinks. So I joined them. And my intention of joining them was not to find another black community. I already had that. But I wanted to, know other people, especially women who live around me. And I didn't really make friends, but at least I have acquaintances. Sometimes we still meet up for breakfast, we still meet up for coffee or take a walk, and that helped me. That helped me. So once in a while, when they plan events, I meet with them. Now, through one of those connections, in my discussions with them, when they asked me what I do and asking me to talk about myself, when they found that I was a writer, and one lady asked me if I wrote for money. It's like if I wrote for a living. I said no. I've written and published two books. She said, "Don't you want to write? Don't you want to meet other writers and maybe find a way you can write for local magazines and things like that?" I said, "Of course I like to, but I don't know how to go about it." So she advised that I go to the local library and make inquiries, and that's how I went to the local library. I made some inquiries, and I was told where to go to. There was a group for writers at the town center. Can you imagine that? At the town center, there was a group for writers at the town center, and it was quite cheap. I think we paid £5 or so per meeting, and that helped me. That writing group really, really helped me because I'd stopped writing. I just couldn't. After writing my second book, write it somehow, like I said in my first episode, there's so many challenges when we first came here. I was busy with so many things. I stopped writing. Apart from one or two things I write on social media sometimes, even that was challenging for me. I stopped writing. But this group, they to speak like a Nigerian. They gingered me, they inspired me, they motivated me into writing. And I found that I could write poetry. Can you imagine that? I've never been, before that, I had never been able to write poetry. I tried to write poetry a couple of times in my life, but I just couldn't. But these people, somehow, I don't know what happened, I was able to write poetry. So that was one community that helped me. From that community, I joined them. I volunteered to join another community for women. They help women who are experiencing domestic abuse. They also help men too who are experiencing domestic abuse. That group is called My Sister's Place. So I joined them as a volunteer, and they had a conference. I think it was on Women's Day in 2023. I attended that conference, and from that conference, I connected with two women. One, her name is Sarah. The other lady, I forget her name. Forget her name. She's an Indian woman. One very pretty lady. I forget her name at this point. But I connected with them. We also connected on Facebook through Sarah. Sarah told me about a another Facebook group for female writers in the area. The area where I live is called Tees Valley. So I joined them. At first, I didn't take them seriously because I just thought I'm not a writer, I'm not a poet, so I'm not sure this group will be useful to me. Thank God I did not leave that group. I stayed there until after I joined the writers group and I found I could write poetry. I searched for that group again on Facebook. I found them, and I found out that they usually have meetings, sometimes online, sometimes on-site meetings for female poets. I attended one. I made a friend with a lady. I made friends with one of the lady who was handling the group. Her name is Shustin. Shustin is her name, but her name is spelled Kirsten, but it's pronounced Shustin. Very nice lady. So I made friends with them, and now I've I've made connections with fellow female writers like me from different walks of life, from different backgrounds, joining these communities. The women in my area, I joined the community. The Nigerian women in the UK, the writers group, the female poets group. Joining these groups has given my life a meaning, so to speak. Of course, I joined the church. That one's a no-brainer. As soon as we came here, within 2 weeks of coming here, we joined a church, and we're still in that church till date. And we're both, when I say both, my husband and I, and even our children, we're all serving in that church in one capacity or the other. Joining all these groups gave my life a meaning in the UK. It just gave me a reason for being here and made my life in UK more enjoyable. So my life is not just all about going to work in the morning, coming back. It's not just about picking shifts, work in the morning, come back, rest for an hour or two, go out again, work at night, come back in the morning, then the next day repeat the whole thing. No, my life is more than that now, because I did not just come to the UK. I didn't come to the UK for a better life, so to speak. But I came here to improve myself. I also came here to make an impact on my world. We'll talk about that making impact in maybe next episode. I need to write that down so I don't forget. It happens to me sometimes. I'll say I'm going to talk about something and then I forget. So that might be, I think that should be my next, my what you call it, topic for next episode, making impact my my adopted country. Yeah. So I'm just writing it down so I don't forget. I'm the queen of journaling. I'm the queen of writing. I have to write it down, and I've written it down somewhere where I won't forget. I'll look it up for next episode. Yeah. So community, it cannot be overemphasized. Please, please, please find a group of people who have similar interests, who believe in what you believe, who who understands you. Find a group. It could be more than one, because I've mentioned about 4 or 5 groups here now that I've joined. And oh, I forgot, I also joined the reading club. So reading club, writers group, a female poets group, women in my area, and my church. 5 groups that I've joined that have given my life a meaning, that have that that have made my life more enjoyable here in the UK. That's that. And then the next thing I'm going to talk about is learning to adapt. Learning to adapt. I've noticed, I don't know about other women of African descent, but Nigerians can be very what's the word? Can be very possessive about their food. The average Nigerian feels quite possessive of their food. The average Nigerian does not like to taste other foods or taste food from other post culture. They believe that their food is the best. Be open is what I'm going to tell you. Yeah, in my family we eat mostly Nigerian food, but in once in a while we try other things. And in my children's school, I intentionally did not decided not to prepare food from home for them to take to school. Intentionally, we let them eat food from school so that they can experience food from other culture and open up their taste buds, so to speak, so they can enjoy food from other culture. Sometimes at home here too, I wish I could get authentic Chinese food, because some of these Chinese restaurants, I believe that the food is not really authentic. It's always full of so much sugar and all that. It's different from when I watch food shows on YouTube about Chinese food, Asian food generally. I don't see them putting a lot of sugar in it. But when I go to the shops here to buy their food, I notice that there's a lot of sugar. I wish I could get. That's why you need community. I wish I had a friend who was from some part of Asia that could cook authentic Asian food for me, Chinese, Korean, Japanese food, Indian food for me, and I'll be able to tell the difference. But the ones that I will buy from the shop, somehow I feel they're not really authentic. So that's it. Learn to be open minded. Learn to be open minded. Learn to adapt. Learn to adapt so that it's settling down in your adopted country happens faster and easier. Right. The next lesson I learned, oh, this cannot be overemphasized. Ah, prioritize self care. Prioritize self care, especially as women. Men have a way of taking care of themselves. When a man is tired, he's tired. He's not going to bother himself to do anything. He tells you, I went to work in the morning, I'm back at night, or I went to work at night, I'm back here in the morning, I'm going to sleep. But you find a woman, she did two shifts. She went to work in the morning, maybe 9 o'clock. She came back at 5 o'clock. She organized lunch for the children, for the husband, and then at 9 o'clock, she's out to work again for another shift. She comes back in the morning, maybe at 4 o'clock. She organizes lunch for the children. She tries to do a little cleanup. She only rests for maybe 2 hours or 3 hours. Why? Why? And self care. It's something you need to do for yourself. Women become more like men when it comes to that. When a man is tired, he sleeps, he rests, he puts up his feet, he watches TV, he reads the newspaper. Sometimes he hangs out with his friends. But we women we keep on saying we are busy, we are busy. You're busy at work in the morning, you're busy at work at night, you're busy at home cleaning, you're busy doing grocery shopping, you're busy checking your children's homework. You're so busy, and then you find your body telling you to rest, but you're ignoring your body, and then you start experiencing funny aches and pains that you're wondering where they came from. You're not resting, and resting is not taking your phone and flipping through your phone, lying down on your bed and flipping through your phone. That's not rest. Rest is lying down and reading a book. Rest is lying down and closing your eyes, even if it's for just 20 minutes a day. Aside the sleep you sleep at night, if it's just 20 minutes or 30 minutes a day, every day. Rest could also mean putting up your feet, just sitting down and just doing nothing. Take a deep breath and let it out. Take a deep breath and let it out, just relaxing. Resting could also mean taking a walk, taking a 20-minute walk. Resting could also mean calling a friend, could also mean calling a friend and just chatting, or a family member. Women, you need to learn to rest. Thank God that wasn't well. It's not. It's something I've always known. Even back in Nigeria, I don't take my rest time for granted. I always know when to rest. Always. Oh, I've always known how to do that. I've never been the kind of person who would go and work and work and work until I'm falling apart. I've never been that kind of person. But as I came here to the UK, I realized that I need to take my rest time even more more important than when I was back in Nigeria. So prioritize self-care. If you can afford it, please go to a spa. I used to go to a spa when I first came here. I think once every month or two, I go to a spa, go for a massage, just relax, just use the steam room and all that. I haven't done that for a long time now, for maybe over a year. Throughout last year, I didn't do it, but I used to do it a lot in the second half of 2022 and the first half of 2023. I used to do that. I haven't done that since the last half of 2023. Um, yeah, I throughout last year I didn't do it, but it's something I'm planning to do. Sometimes go to the cinema. That's something I do too. I absolutely enjoy going to the cinema. Sometimes go alone, sometimes go with your family, sometimes go to a restaurant. Have just relax now. What you want carry this money do? You're just making money, paying tax, paying bills. Put some money aside for yourself. Take care of yourself. Buy a new outfit. If you're not really the fashionista kind of person, take yourself out. I have a friend who has to go to work once every 2 weeks. She works from home, and every 2 weeks she goes to work. She says once she's done with work on those days, she just takes a walk around the shopping center, around the town center. She just do the shops. if she has enough money, she can buy things. She likes to window shop. I don't like to window shop. I think window shopping is a waste of my time. So if I don't have the money to buy, or if I have no intention of buying, then why am I window shopping? But some people enjoy window shopping. For my friend, window shopping has a therapeutic effect on her. Another thing that has a therapeutic effect on me is grocery shopping. I absolutely enjoy grocery shopping. I don't know why. Don't ask me why. Maybe the same reason some women enjoy shopping for clothes. I do not enjoy shopping for clothes, but shopping for food and household items makes me really happy. So that's one of the things that I do to create time for myself. And then the next thing is embrace your identity. That's number five, I think. I think I've named them six things, I think. But that's on my list here, it's number five. If I name six things, then take it as a bonus. Embrace your identity. Be proud of who you are. I realized that when I first came here, because of course when you're moving for Nigerians and I'm sure for many Africans, when we're moving we give out a lot of our clothing, a lot of our things, our furniture, our cars, our clothes. I gave out most of my clothes, but for things that were made in Nigeria, like my Ankara clothes, my lace clothes, I didn't give them out. I came here with them, and I realized that I actually enjoy things that show my Africanness more now than when I was in Nigeria. When I was back in Africa, it wasn't a big deal. Yeah, you're African, so what? But as I came here, I noticed that anything that shows my Africanness, I actually enjoy showcasing it. I have dreads now. If I remove this my wig, you see my dreads. I have dreads. Back in Nigeria, I was never interested in having dreads. I was like, but since I came here, when I attend certain events, I like to go because my dreads have grown out now. When I first came in, they were really quite short. They were like, I don't know, somewhere around my hairline. So I now they've grown out. They're touching around my eyebrows now. So I feel more comfortable growing out my dreads now. If I attend certain events where I know I'll be one of the few Africans there, I love growing out with my dreads. I like to wear my Ankara clothes, my lace clothes, the things that are made in Nigeria. I like to wear them just to show myself. Every opportunity that I have to talk about my African origin, even in my writings, when I write about when I write articles, I like to write to showcase my Africanness, my Nigerianness, because I'm proud of who I am. I'm proud of where I come from. I'm proud of my people. I'm proud of our resilience. I'm proud. Do you think it's easy to leave your home country and all that's familiar to move to a new country where their culture is totally different from yours, completely different? You're learning, it's like you're learning things anew, and a lot of times you'll make mistakes, especially when you move as an adult in your 30s, in your 40s, and maybe even in your 50s. It's more difficult. It's more difficult. So I'm so proud of my Nigerianness. I'm so proud of my Africanness, and I use every opportunity I have to teach people or to educate people about who I am. So that is embrace your identity. Embrace your identity. If you were to read, if you go to my Facebook page, you'll see a lot of writing that I've done about being African, living in Obodo Chali. That's what I call the UK. Obodo Chali. Obodo Chali means Charles' land, the land of Charles, King Charles. Obodo Eze Chali. That's what I call the United Kingdom. So I use the opportunity to. I just want people to know about Nigeria and about Africa from my own perspective and not just from what they've seen in movies or what they've heard. A lot of times when people talk about Nigeria outside Nigeria, it's negative. So we are here to change the narrative. We want people to know about the goodness of Nigeria, knowing that Nigerians are hardworking, good people who just want to have a good life and contribute their own quota towards the growth and development of their adopted country. So those are the five things that I learned, five lessons that I learned from moving or when I first moved into the United Kingdom. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I know that I did. Remember that this podcast is for immigrant women of African descent. So when we say African descent, you don't necessarily have to be African, but you could be, as long as your ancestors were Africans. So you could be from Brazil, you could be from America, you could be from Trinidad and Tobago or from Jamaica, as long as you live outside your home country, this podcast is for you. And I always say this place is a place where I want people to come and have fun, laugh, laugh, enjoy yourself, and just feel good. We're not going to take ourselves too seriously on this podcast. And this podcast is more than a conversation. I always say it's a movement. I want you to know that you did not come here just to take, you came here to give as well. Think of yourself, see yourself as someone who has something that is relevant and that is important to your adopted country, and they must know you for that. Thank you again. Yeah, that's all I have for you today. Thank you for tuning into this episode. Please subscribe. Please share to any woman you know anywhere in the world. Share with them. I'd like to hear your comments about this podcast. If there's anything you want us to add, if there's anything you want us to remove, just I'd like to hear your suggestions. Send us an email to ngozijason1 at gmail.com. That's Ngozi Jason1 at gmail.com. I really love to hear from you. And if there's any topic you want me to talk about, please feel free. Let me know as you send me the email or even in the comments. I'd really like to know what else you would like us to talk about. And we're also in the future, in the very near future, we're also going to be interviewing business people, businesses that we know are relevant to African women in the diaspora. We're going to be interviewing women, ordinary women like you and I, who have achieved any measure of success, no matter how small it sounds. We're going to interview them, asking them what they did, how they did it, how they were able to achieve it. Thank you again for tuning in. Remember, mindset matters, perception is everything. Thank you, and I'll see you in my next episode. Toodaloo. Welcome to African Women. Welcome to African Women